Hi, thank you for joining me today. And today I'm using Simple Stories Boho Sunshine to document some photos of the children at the Howley Carnival. This was back in 2014. Amelia was having her face painted. James definitely didn't want face painting done, but he did let me take a photo of the two of them at the end. So you can see I've got 3 photos there at the moment. I do bring in that 4th photo, which you can see on the right hand side there, of the two of them together. And these have been printed as 3x2 photos, and so they work really nicely. If you've got portrait and landscape photos, this design works really nicely for those. So I had this scrap of paper left over from a previous layout that I did with these papers, and I love that swoosh that you get on one of the papers. So I'd used those pieces previously, and now I'm just building on that to create another swoosh across the page here. So the last one I used corners, so that's why I had this central piece left over. So I'm just having to trim it down a little bit to make it work for my pages, but I love how this turns out, and it's something that I'll definitely do again. Just cutting shapes to create a wave going across the page. So I've chosen papers which I think work nicely with the colours in my photos. I wanted to use this pale blue because Amelia's got her blue coat on, and the florals that they printed on her face were blue as well. And then this is the piece that I had left over, so with the pink and, well, it's like a skin tone really, a pale pink. And then I love this pink with the daisies on, so I wanted to bring that in as well. So I'm just using the shapes of the previous papers to create the next swoosh. And then I don't know what happens when I put them back together. They go back differently, but I actually love the way that I put them together in the end because it creates little gaps across the page, and they do look really nice like that. So now that I've cut the 4 pieces and I'm happy with the depth that I've got there from the papers, I'm going to distress all the edges. I can see now exactly what I've done. You'll see when I put these down, that palest piece goes above the pink piece, and it creates a different shape. It's really nice, you'll see soon. So just distressing the edges and then laying them down. And now I want to trim off the excess from this daisy paper so it doesn't hang and show on the page. So now those 2 are together, I shall get those stuck down before I continue with the next 2. And this is where it happens because I move them off to one side and my memory is atrocious. I forget which way round they go, and I end up bringing them in a different way. But like I say, I love the design that it creates doing that. So here I am with that paler piece. So just getting that stuck down. And then when I bring that salmon pink one in, I see what I've done. But you can see there's a tiny gap there underneath the blue on the left-hand side. And then when I bring this piece in, there's a big gap, but it does look beautiful. You see, just there. And the waves that it creates are amazing. This would be gorgeous for a beach themed layout or a cruise layout. So just sticking this down now with my tape runner, and then I can start working on the photos. Just making sure there's plenty of adhesive there to stick all the layers down, and then just lining it up with the edges of the paper. So here are first of all my 3 photos of Amelia, but I decided I want to bring that one in of the 2 of them. I toy with putting it at the bottom, but decide that I want them all across this wave. So I'm just going to map them onto some scrap white cardstock. I won't make you watch me do all this. It's just to create that small border around the edge. And just trimming them down to size. And I do that for all 4 photos. So there's the 4th one. And first of all, I want to start with the title. So I come in with my foam stickers, and I want to use this Be Happy because they were so happy at the carnival. Amelia loved having her face painted, and James was really happy that he didn't have to. So now using my Stix 225mm foam pads to get these photos stuck down, because there's a lot of texture underneath. The foam pads help to stick them down, and it also raises the photos to be the focal point of the layout. It's going to get quite busy, so it was good to have these raised up on foam. So just deciding exactly how I want them to go, because I want them to be offset against one another. I don't want them to be in a row because of the way that the shape of the paper is. So I do move this middle one and have that on top. Like that much more. And then this one's just going to be straight on the right hand side. That smile on James's face, as if to say, hooray, I didn't have to do it. So now one of the foam butterflies at the top, just deciding exactly where. And then this title is actually from Serenity from 49 Market, and it just says remember when. And I thought that worked really nicely. I wanted a little word strip up here. I am loving word strips at the moment. And there aren't any in this sticker book. There are more alphabets in this sticker book this time. So bringing in some more of the butterflies for different shapes and textures. So this one just goes there next to the title. And then I'm going to use this alphabet to write Howley Carnival, which is where we were. And that just works really nicely along that pink piece. I will fill in the blank at the end of the title there shortly. So bringing in some of these little florals and just tucking them in as a cluster underneath that left-hand photo. I was going to trim off the excess, but I just looped it around the edge of the page. These stickers are so thin you can do that easily. Then bringing in this circle sun. I love that, it's so cute with the smiley face on. I'm not normally one for smiley faces, but I do, I do really like that sun. Not smiley faces on inanimate objects anyway. So looking through to see what else I can find, and there's this little circle with the daisy on. So I had that as well. I love that they have the different size circles there. And then I'll use these sunglasses to fill in that gap. So just working out where to put this circle piece now, and it goes up next to that butterfly. It just says love this. Back to the foam stickers again, and I'm going to add some of the little floral pieces. So just a little one there with the butterfly, one to the right hand side of the title. And another one next to that butterfly. And that one there next to the title. So now my journaling, and this just says, they were face painting at the Howley Carnival. James has never liked it, but Amelia was more than happy to. You both enjoyed collecting a sticker and posing for a photo together though. So back in with the foam stickers, I wanted to build up this line on the left-hand side so that the butterflies are flying all the way along there. So I added a foam one at the top and then a sticker at the bottom, and then that little tab sticker at the top there above that second photo. And then I wanted to bring in some mixed media. I decided that I wanted to bring in some of the darker blue to match the blues that are in the photos. So I've come in with my Inklings Oaky Bear Blue watercolour paint, and I'm just smearing that along the top, and then I should do the same along the bottom of the page. Just adding a little bit more water there. Once I've done this, I do come in with some splatters from the Shimmers Paints Colour Splash. They're a glossy acrylic spray, and I've got a blue and a yellow, and they work really nicely with this paper. And then off camera, right at the very end, when I finish filming, I decide that I do want to add some gold shimmer as well. So I come in with one of my gold Shimmers Paints watercolour paints and just add that in with the blue, and you'll see that in the close-ups right at the very end. But here I am splattering first of all with that Oaky Bear Blue, and then you'll also see a disaster in a minute when I bring in those Colour Splash paints. I don't realise quite how watery they are, and as I'm unscrewing the blue one, I managed to pour the blue paint all over the photo of James and Amelia. So I'm just adding a few more embellishments here, a little suede smiley face, and one of the embroidered flowers, as I mentioned earlier. And another little pink and yellow one, well, cream, to the right here, just building up those clusters of florals. And I love that because you've got the foam ones and then these embroidered ones and then the suede of the smiley heart. All these different textures really add to the layout. So I'm coming in with some Nuvo crystal drops in gold, just adding a few little dots around the page. And I think this is what gives me the idea to add the gold paint right at the very end. I'm trying to lift it because that blue is very dark and I wanted some brighter things on here. So adding the date on one of our printables, the little label there to the left-hand side of the photo. I think that's from the set sale collection, the Heidi Swap set sale. But just add my date with my archival ink and roller date stamp. And the ticket is from 49er Market Indigo collection. So here I go, look, watch this, big splotch right down James's face. So I carry on splattering while I decide what to do. I try and dab it up, but it's too far gone, so I do reprint that photo. I'll do that off camera. So adding some yellow splatters now. And that's it, you'll see the close-ups now where I've added a little bit of gold watercolour. And thank you so much for joining me, and I shall see you again on Tuesday for my next video. Thanks so much. Bye.